Cats forget some things, but not this. Whether it was years ago or just yesterday, they remember it, and it might involve you. Number 1. Their early kittenhood. A cat's earliest weeks shape who they will be for life. No pressure if you've got a kitten. Well, no, that's a lie. Quite a lot of pressure, actually. But I'm not exaggerating. It's a period between 2 to 7 weeks old that will be remembered forever. As an example, if a cat handled gently by a human during this period, that sticks with them, and they will be an affectionate, confident adult. But if a 2 to 7 week old kitten is sadly neglected or abused, or even just not properly socialized, that trauma can linger for life. And this can make the poor cat in question fearful around humans, which can lead to aggression. These early memories affect how they respond to touch, how they behave around people, and even how they choose to communicate. If you have a cat who had a rather rough kittenhood, it's important to note that they might struggle to let go of that and will remember it forever. So if you weren't there when they were a kitten, but now find them challenging to work with, every time they lash out, it's important to remind yourself that it's not their or your fault. And with a lot of hard work, while you'll never be able to help them fully forget those tough early days, you may be able to help them combat how those lingering memories make them behave. Because if you were not the person who made their kittenhood so hard, you are the one who has made their cathood so much better. Which segs into a rather sweet second installment on this list, which I think we maybe need after such a dark opener. Number 2. The day you brought them home. I've said it before on this channel, I imagine I'll say it many times more, but cats are creatures of habits. Schedules and routines mean a lot to them. That's why they don't just remember, but basically worship the routine you have given them. And yes, that will be coming up later in the video, but for now I want to take a moment to focus on a day when their routine was hugely disturbed. The day you brought them home. Before they came to learn and never forget your routine, they had a different one. But then they experienced the most drastic shakeup in their life ever. You took them home with you to be your new boss. I mean pet. No, I do mean boss, actually. Considering how much some cats can freak out in the face of the tiniest changes, imagine how big of a deal it must have been. As a result, everything about it is burnt into their memories. The smells, the sound, the sights, and of course you, especially if you made them feel safe. If you took the effort to make the transition easy, everything about that day will have burrowed into their minds and firmly planted itself as a crucial core memory. If you're watching this video not because you have a cat, but because you're thinking of getting one, let this be a lesson as to why it is so important to be calm, patient, and gentle during the first few days. Because to your cat, that first impression is unforgettable. So give them one they will want to remember. Number 3. A person they deeply love or deeply hate. Part of that is remembering you and everything about you and how you were that day. And yes, we will be talking in more depth about your cat's memory of you in a bit. I know it's absolutely tease for future o'clock in this video right now, but just building off of that last entry, I want to take a moment to talk about how your cat can remember people in general. Because cats can recognize familiar humans after literal years of separation. Studies show cats have excellent long-term memory. This is especially true for emotional events. If someone was kind to them, that sticks. Talked softly, that sticks. Gave them treats, played with them often, or otherwise engaged with them, all of it sticks. If you have a friend who visited your house and was loving and sweet to your cat, your furball will remember this. And if your friend doesn't visit again for weeks or even months on end, when they return, your cat will be like, "Hey, it's that guy, the one with the nose piercing who gives good ear scratches." On a personal note, I once stayed with a friend for 5 months and developed quite a tight bond with his cat, Montgomery. Shout out to Montgomery if he's watching. I moved out, got my own place, and didn't visit for about a year. When I returned, Montgomery recognized it was me in an instant. I have no doubt that many of you will have had similar experiences where your cat remembers a friend who was kind to them, or perhaps a friend's cat remembers you because you were kind. This also swings the other way, though. Let's imagine I stepped on Montgomery's tail. I would never do that, but let's just say I did. Montgomery might hide from me every time I visit, because Montgomery would always remember you're the guy who steps on tails. Because never forgetting can sadly sometimes mean never forgiving. We all remember pain, physical or emotional after all. Number 4, a painful experience. Pain lingers in the memory. Did your cat once fall off a high shelf, get stuck under the couch, have a tricky divorce, or have a traumatic vet visit? All of those things will stick with them because, be it physical or emotional, cats remember pain. Also, not to do this again, we will be talking in more detail about one of those points in a bit, so be sure not to bail if any of them intrigue you. If a particular place, person, or object was involved in a painful moment, your cat may avoid it permanently. Hence my example a moment ago about stepping on Montgomery's tail. He would be mindful of me because I was responsible for the pain. Cannot stress enough that this was a fictional example and Montgomery loves me. Big up, Monty! But if Montgomery might have gotten stuck under a certain leopard print sofa, he might be fearful of the leopard print sofa and avoid it. To be fair, smart move. Every cat should be nervous of a sofa made from the fur of another cat. This is a survival instinct. Their brain links the experience to danger and stores it for future reference. For similar but opposite reasons, they remember environments that make them feel safe. Number 5, where they feel safe. Alright, I've eaten my chalky. Let's move on. So, even in a chaotic household, your cat remembers their safe zones. The spots in which they are able to get away from anything that might be going on and just chill in their own vibes. It could be the top of a bookshelf, a corner behind a sofa, maybe your lap. They'll return to these spots over and over again because they remember how safe they feel in them. So if your cat seems to vanish during loud thunderstorms or when guests arrive, check their favorite safe spaces. They remember where they feel secure, so they will return there when that is a feeling they want to recreate, such as in moments of high stress or anxiety. On the subject of stress, it is stressing me out how many hints at future topics I've touched upon but not addressed, so let's whip through them really quick. Another good seg, another bar of chocolate for me. Number 6, the routine you gave them. Earlier, I was talking about how a cat's routine means everything for them. And I mentioned how, when you bring them home, you briefly disturb their routine. But then, once they're in your home, they have a new routine to remember. The exact moment you feed them, the exact time you go to work, the exact time you return. They remember so much more of it than you realize. They will notice every second that your routine is out of sync with what they expect. This memory of routine helps them feel secure in a world they don't control. And, as touched upon earlier, feeling secure means the world to your cat. Number 7, the vet trip from hell. Earlier, I was talking about bad memories and how there is one type in particular I wanted to highlight, and that's vet trips. But in particular, those vet trips where things take a very bad turn. For example, they had to have a painful injection. Your cat probably seems to know a vet trip is coming when it is. Certain familiar signs will remind them of the last time they went to the vet. And if that was an upsetting trip, that will linger. And everything that reminds them it could happen again, from the carrier to your nervous energy, will remind them of the last time this happened. Number 8, you. The next teased point I want to return to is you. Your cat remembers you. Your scent, your voice, your touch, the way you walk, the rhythm of your footsteps, the tone you use when you say their name. They don't just remember your routine, they remember you. Of course they do. How could they not? You are their everything. Even if you leave for days, maybe even months, or years, your cat will greet you like they've been counting every minute you've been gone upon your return. Because in your cat's heart, you're totally unforgettable. Yes, even you, Jack Smith. There's something else your cat never forgets, and it's not what you think. If you've ever doubted your bond, you need to see this video next.